John in Lake Orion says Doug likes breakfast from 1872. Next text.
Yeah, it's crockpot. He means kettle.
Next text. Finally, I agree with Doug on something. Steel cut oats are worth the wait. Adam in Detroit. Personally, I prefer titanium cut oats. Sit lighter in the belly.
That's probably right.
Next text. Unnamed texter. Hey guys, I didn't know Doug was an oats snob.
Sure is.
Oat-elitis.
Yeah.
Marlon says, I had steel cut oats once while trying to eat healthier. They're awful. By the time they tasted good, they were no longer good for me. Meaning you got to add so much sugar.
Right.
Just a little pinch of sugar and some raisins is what I do. But
blueberries might be good.
Pat and Romeo says Gator needed steel cut graham crackers.
Maybe that would have been better.
Yeah, steel cut Girl Scout cookies. Those are healthier.
Diamond cut.
From Scott.
Let's go the hardest surface you can find, man. It's diamond cut.
Scott writes in, a half an hour for oatmeal. Did you also milk the cow for the milk tan?
How long does it take to churn butter?
Interstellar cut oats.
Yeah. Let's get back to your open line calls. We got a Jay in Detroit. You're on 97.1. Hi, Jay.
Hey, Doug. How we doing this morning?
Good. I had a good breakfast today. I'm ready to go.
Well, that's important. It's the most important meal of the day.
That's right.
So I'm hearing you guys talking, and to be honest, I'm good with Linderbaum at 20 a year, but last year we made an effort to bring Frank back. It seemed like he did want to come back. He had the injury. That injury should, at some point during this season, be good. Are they going to look into Frank again before we drop $20 million on a replacement?
I mean, they may. I guess it's always good to make that phone call. Every indication we've gotten is that he's not coming back. That he's done.
Well, then we might want to get in on the $20 million a year on Linderbaum sweepstakes.
I would rather spend the money on Linderbaum than spend it on an edge rusher. But
I agree.
But if they, as always, call Frank. Like the idea of calling Frank. But I feel like that ship has sailed.
Yeah, but I would agree with that. I'd rather spend it on a center than on an edge rusher because I think you can find an edge rusher in the draft that I think can step in right away and be a disruptor and be a competitor, whether that's with the 17th pick or if you want to wait to round 2 with the 50th pick. I think you can find a guy. I don't know if you can find a center.
Or if we get a couple of guys that do redo their contracts to free up some money because they do want to go and grab Crosby, then now we have our window. We've got 2 or 3 years, and it's Super Bowl or bust.
Jay, thank you for the phone call, 248-539-9797. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that this town is consumed with the edge rusher opposite of Hutch or obsessed with the edge rusher opposite of Hutch, but it is, I think there is a certain segment of the population that doesn't care about the winning and losing. They just care about getting elite edge rushers, like stockpiling elite edge rushers. It's a huge part of the game. There's no question about it. But there's nobody else. Other teams are winning Super Bowls without doing this.
Well, there are a bunch of different ways to get things done. I mean, there's a story today about, hey, teams should look at the Seattle Seahawks way and get 2 elite defensive tackles. And easier said than done. I think if you double up on the elite players at a certain position, sure, it makes you a much better team. But can you do that on the constraints of a salary cap? That's the hard part, is committing that kind of a salary. Can you commit $70 million or more to the edge rushers?
Well, and one of the least exciting things to do is talk about, spreading your money evenly, being balanced, making smart moves. It doesn't grab headlines, but it usually is a better way than going all in on one position. I don't know. Just me. Glenn in Detroit, you're next. Hi, Glenn.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
Yes, I'm a big fan of Cam Jordan in New Orleans. I know he's a little long in the tooth, but he had 10.5 sacks last year, and he's going to be a free agent. And he's familiar with Dan Campbell, and he got the body size, 6'4", 280, and you don't have to be a 3-down player. Plus, he's better than Marcus Davenport.
Well,
I think it's not going to break the bank.
No, I like Cam Jordan a lot. I think the question is, does Cam Jordan want to still play football? Because there's been some talk that he might want to retire. But it's one of those. New Orleans was one of the 3 teams in the National Football League last season that had 2 guys with double-digit sack totals: New Orleans, the Lions, and Houston. And it was Chase Young on the other side there. But Cam Jordan's been a force his whole career. He's been a great player. And, yeah, he does have the knowledge with Campbell. It was a name that I thought maybe the Lions might be interested at the trade deadline in acquiring.
Do you know how much his projected salary is for next year?
I don't know, but it's probably north of 10.
Spot Track has it at $6.8 million.
Oh.
Yep.
Because of his
That's what
age.
I'm talking about.
Yep.
But does he want to play?
It's a valid question.
Yeah, I'm from New Orleans. I got you guys and my home team, New Orleans, with Bobby Hebert almost every day, and he does want to play. He does
Cam
want
Jordan
to
does.
play.
Okay. Then I'd be interested.
Okay.
I think that he's the kind of guy that the Lions would be into when you start looking at the things that they emphasize. Obviously, the production has to be there. And each year with Cam Jordan, the production's probably going to go down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But, you start with character. He's like a 5-time Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. And I know that stuff doesn't matter to everybody. I think it just speaks to his professionalism. And we can sit here and talk about his age. Do you know the fewest number of games played in a season for him was?
Well, I just pulled up his stats, and I cannot believe what I'm looking at. I honestly cannot believe what I'm seeing. He hasn't missed a game.
His entire career.
He's played 243 games.
Out of a possible
243 games.
So you got still productive, veteran player, familiarity with Dan Campbell, Man of the Year nominee 5 times, never missed a game. That sounds exactly. I'll give you another guy that's just like that they have tried to get before. Calais Campbell. Older guy. He has missed games, but the last 3 years it's been 17, 17, 17. He's still producing. Justin Rogers wrote about him recently. He's another former Walter Payton. He actually won Walter Payton Man of the Year. These are veteran guys that won't cost as much, that can come in and, hey, for a year, come win a Super Bowl with us.
Yeah.
I think the Cam Jordan call is a great call, and I think Calais Campbell fits that. They've tried to get him before.
Are these 2 guys that you can wait a while in free agency? Because they don't sound like they're the players that go in the first few days of free agency,
Yep.
where all the big money is spent, that you can maybe just kind of bide your time, wait it out, and strike when the iron's hot and maybe get for less. But they're both, I like both of the players.
Yep. And you're talking about 1-year deals?
Yep.
248-539-9797. Ron in Westland. Hi, Ron.
Hey, how you doing?
What's up?
You guys were speaking about having too much money in a position.
Yeah.
I think they got way too much in the wide receiver room. I think trading Amon-Ra St. Brown for a first-round pick, using the money you save on his contract to get Lindenbaum, then you got another first-round pick to fill up all the rest of your – help fill out the rest of your holes between offensive tackle, edge rusher, D-line, and safety.
Well, I would argue that the future they will have too much money wrapped up in wide receiver. This coming year, Amon-Ra's cap hit is 33, and Jamison Williams' cap hit is 8.2. And so I don't think that's imbalanced. Now,
well, the 33, New England always had their wide receivers after their rookie contract. They give them a handshake and tell them thanks for participating.
Yeah, well, they also had the greatest quarterback of all time.
That's true, but I mean, that's kind of the mold that Goff is in. He's a pocket quarterback.
Yeah, but he's not Tom Brady.
Line.
I mean, he's not Tom Brady, and the whole defensive effort that the Patriots had every year because it's Bill Belichick team. I don't think it's fair to compare against New England in their dynasty.
yeah, I mean, look, in the future, again, in like 3 years from now, They'll have north of 50-something million wrapped up in wide receiver, but also, I don't know what the cap's going to look like 3 years from now. It'll probably be a lot higher the way this league goes. But right now, I don't think they have too much wrapped up in it. The cap hits when you add them together, the wide receiver spot. I have to look to it compared to the rest of the league, but right now, J-Mo's cap hit is not that high. Jay in Southfield, you're next. Hello, Jay.
Hey, how you doing, fellas?
What's up?
Hey, I think a lot of people have got with the edge rusher, they get things kind of confused. We don't need another elite edge rusher. I think we need to turn our defensive tackles loose like Ali McNeil did 2 years ago and wreak some havoc. Penetration. Because we got two edge rushers and nobody in the middle, he can still step up in the middle. That's not a big help, but that's a lot of money gone.
Yeah, the weird thing about the edge rusher spot is last year along the defense, it really wasn't the problem. They got pressure from both edges. The defensive tackle spot was probably a bigger problem. Now the issue is one of the edge rushers that produced for them is a free agent, and El-Quadi Muhammad. We have to see what happens there.
I listen to you guys every day. Great show. And I remember maybe it was a couple of months ago or somewhere during the season that Lee McNeil was complaining about the scheme or kind of complaining that they don't just let him go. So I think it's more of a scheme thing. If you got a defensive tackle like a Lee McNeil, like a Warren Sapp, you let them penetrate and cause havoc in that backfield.
Well, he was also
come from that.
Keep this in mind with the year that Liam had last year. He was coming off an injury.
Yep.
And
right, I understand that.
Rejoined the team way late in the season, so I would expect he's going to be better this upcoming year. Maybe that's something. Is that something we can count on? Because he's healthier, he's fully recovered from the injury, and he's ready to get back to the kind of player that he was. I hope.
Okay, I got a quiz for you and Kang coming up today at 11:52. Yeah, a bit of a quiz. See how you do.
When do you want to try this food thing?
Well, are you going to eat that at 12:30?
So you want to do that at 12:30?
Yeah, because Gator brought in something to sample. And I'm curious and a little scared, to be honest.
You got any room left after those steel cut oats? Though?
I do. Yeah.
Good question.
That'll be right after lunch. So, all right, quiz for these guys. We'll talk some Pistons. I wonder how many people caught this that happened in the Piston game last night. We will get to that today at 12:02. It's Karsch and Anderson, 97.1.